All right.
Sweet.
And every time I think, oh, how do we usually start these? And I don't think we have a usual way.
No.
Well,
Just
you're the
kinda go,
podcast
"Hey."
god, so you should create your own way.
Oh, no.
Do your Fat Albert impression.
Oh, no.
Hey, everyone. It's the Wildrose Arcade Podcast. Here for a fun, relaxing time. We're just saying hey.
That hey was so tame.
For some reason, I thought it wasn't anywhere Fat Albert for me, but was
Well,
oh god,
it wasn't Fat Albert.
no, it wasn't. Well, Thomas to do a Fat Albert impression, and then when he did it, it reminded me more of Arthur.
Arthur? The aardvark?
Hey, what a wonderful kind of day. Hey.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. I see where you're going with this.
Because that's the voice I did it in.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's the thing. It's the usual thing.
This is our E3 predictions podcast. We will probably also do a post E3, but I'm not sure if we've got our heart set on that yet or not.
I assume we
Probably
would.
at some point.
And I am the god.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the boss, man. You just gotta tell us what to do. You just gotta put us in a box and say, do the thing!
Everybody
You're like, hey, do a podcast. So I'll be like, all right.
Are we going to do the what we've been playing lately?
Yeah, I think so. What has everyone been playing?
Let's start.
I've got like nothing.
No. I've actually made a point to keep track now, because now I know that I'm gonna get asked this question when we do a podcast. So I've been keeping it in the backlog in my brain since like January. So.
I mean, if we're going back that far, then okay.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to give
lot.
everybody the yearly recap. It's just sort of what you've been playing lately.
What's everybody
I'm just
playing?
saying. No, I'm saying that because I play so little games now. It's not like I play a few games every month. I play like one game every couple of months. So that's why when I play a new game, I'm just like, okay, just keep that in mind that I played this, right? Because I only have 3 games that I've played since like January. So that's what I'm trying to get at. But so should I start then?
Yeah, sure. Actually, yeah, go for it.
Okay. Well, lately I've been playing lots of Monster Hunter, obviously, because they've been releasing like new DLC every now and again, which is nice because it's all free, which I love. And then so there's always like new content to bite into once you kind of get bored, because like obviously Monster Hunter can get really grindy. But I've been having so much fun with it, and I'll continue to have fun with it. And then earlier this year, I played East, which was just kind of on a whim. I remember I was like, kind of like, I don't know, I was bored and I didn't want to play anything that I had. So I was like chilling in the eShop, and I saw it on sale, and so I was like, oh, I'll try that. Like that looks like kind of very up my alley kind of game, and it was fun. I didn't actually fully finish it. Guilty as charged. But of what I played, it was pretty good. I liked the story, and the characters were nice and all that kind of stuff. And then I've been playing Story of Seasons Pioneers of Olive Town, because I love me some farming sims. And I was nearly addicted to that for quite a bit. And it has its problems, but they've been releasing like pretty regular, well, not regular updates, but they had some like really big player feedback about like the maker mechanic in it, because there's a lot of like crafting that you can do in this Story of Seasons game, and basically they have like these big machines that you put raw materials into it, and you like you put raw wood into a maker and it gives you a plank of wood kind of thing, and then you use that kind of stuff to like build bigger barns and stuff like that. But the system that they had was very time consuming and very stressful, because you could only have 20 makers of like one type, because there's a maker for wood, there's a maker for like ores and pretty much everything you can think of. But you can only put one item in at a time. And it takes several hours, in-game hours, to produce whatever thing you're trying to make. Depending on the quality of it, it could take like a whole day. and you can only put one material in at a time. And I was like, well, why can't you just stack materials in and then leave it and forget about it, right? Because I have like 900 pieces of wood, but I can only put like 3 pieces of wood in at a time that makes 1 plank. And it just got so annoying. But they did fix it. They haven't released it for the English version yet, because I think it's version 1.0.5. I know it's been released in Japan, but for the Western release of it, I don't think it's out yet, so I haven't been able to test it. But basically, they fixed that problem where you can actually stack items in the makers, which makes it way easier to get materials and stuff like that. And yeah, I think that. Those are pretty much what I've been playing lately. I played Dragon Age Inquisition again recently, which I love Dragon Age Inquisition. I don't know why. I just love it so much. And then I got to play the Trespasser DLC for the first time because I didn't even know about it or didn't even think to look up that Dragon Age had DLC. And I was playing the game and I was almost at the end and I was like, well, I don't want it to end. So I just happened to look up. I was like, oh, I wonder if there's actually DLC. And of course there was. So I was like, oh, I got to play that. So that was fun. But yeah, that's it.
I should
Alright,
replay
cool.
Dragon Age Inquisition.
You what, sorry?
I should replay that because I know that they have. Well, actually, that's going to be coming up later. So
Oh, okay.
This is-
Yeah. But yeah, I love Inquisition. It's awesome. It's great. All right.
it's a good one. So, like, there are a few things, like, especially with like the like just waiting for some stuff. Sometimes, like, annoyed me a little bit because it's like, well, I just want to do this now, but whatever.
Oh, like the war table,
But
like
also,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, like
but-
some of them could take like the most I encountered was
Some
like
of
there was
them
like a
take a
15-hour
while.
one. There was like a 15-hour one that was pretty long.
yeah.
But yeah,
But
I just
don't mind having to wait. But when
Yeah.
it's just like there's other stuff I want to do, I just kind of want to get this over and done with.
yeah, and there's so many
That's right.
different stuff that it can get overwhelming because if you don't keep up with it on a regular basis, like there's so many
Yeah.
more like options that show up, and then you get backlogged, and then it's almost impossible. It's almost impossible to complete all of them before the end game. It's like literally impossible.
But at the same time, I think I downloaded a mod that just made it so they're a little shorter, and I think that mostly.
Oh, that's
solved it for me.
convenient. Yeah, it took a lot of
Didn't get rid of them
strategy to
completely,
like.
but it's like, hey, it just kind of like bumps them down a little bit. So instead of like being like, if you want to be efficient or like, hey, I just want to do this right now, instead
Yeah.
of like it being like, oh, wait for 10 hours. It's like, just
Yeah,
wait
it
for
took a
an
lot
hour.
of strategy to like
Alright, I'll just go wander
organize
and explore this
to like
area.
organize the ambassadors because obviously some of them take
Oh.
shorter times to do certain tasks. So I was very strategic to be like, okay, well Josephine can do this one and Liliana can do that one and Cullen can do that one. Oh, Cullen can't do that one because it's gonna take him longer or whatever. So it was like I was very methodical about who did what. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Alright. So I know Tom had a game he was recently playing that just ended last night. Do you want to talk about it?
Oh yeah.
Rip.
So
Rip.
a couple months ago, technically, because I didn't really have time to just keep going. But a couple of months ago, I started my first ever Nuzlocke on Pokemon Red version, and I played it on my legitimate original cartridge, which added to the stress a little bit because it still has its original battery in it, and I was expecting the battery to die before I finished the Nuzlocke. But it didn't. It held up. It's like 8 years old or some shit, and it's still going.
Damn.
Anyway, I expected to lose the Nuzlocke fairly early, maybe mid game. But luckily, I know Gen 1 pretty well, so I had little. I went specific routes and went specific directions to sort of make it easier on me, and I'm glad I did because my team was very unbalanced for a lot of the game. And I got to the Elite Four, much to my surprise, and I knew the Elite Four was going to slaughter me. And then I was shocked when I got all the way through the Elite Four with only 2 deaths, and I was looking pretty good. and I battled my rival at the end of the Elite Four, and his stupid ass Gyarados used Hyper Beam and kept killing all of my team, and I lost the Nuzlocke. So I got all the way to like 99% of the way through the game and then lost.
To the rival.
To the rival.
Yeah.
To the guy that never beat you once throughout the entire game.
Yeah. That's a hard loss.
So I started another new Nuzlocke on Sapphire last night. And that's sort of what I've been playing. Up until continuing my Nuzlocke, I was playing the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. And yeah, it's fantastic.
It's legendary.
It's legendary. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't want to shift the conversation ahead into like Mass Effect 4 or 5, whatever you want to call it. But I just want to quickly say that I don't know if BioWare can ever top that trilogy now. Like, even if you isolate a new release, because a lot of people who defend Andromeda, and I just hate Andromeda, but a lot of people who defend it use the argument that it has the unfair disadvantage of being compared to a trilogy. But I legitimately think Mass Effect 1 is leaps and bounds better than Andromeda. So I just think, I don't know, I feel like Mass Effect 5, when it finally releases, no matter how good it is, I don't think it's gonna succeed the way the trilogy has. And I almost wish BioWare would just let Mass Effect be this fantastic thing that we had and move on to something else, make a new RPG. But the Mass Effect Legendary Edition is what I've been playing mostly lately, and I've been having a blast with it. I'm almost done the trilogy. I'm at like the last mission in 3, and I just needed a break. And I know that's a weird point to take a break, but over the course of like 2 weeks, I basically nonstop played Mass Effect 1 all the way to 3, to the end of 3, and
slightly before you started playing the Legendary, you did recently play them already, like on your normal, like your normal ones before the Legendary came out. Like a month before, you had played through them already.
Well, it was like 2 or 3 months.
I just remember it was fairly close.
I played through Mass Effect 2 because I had a hankering for just that particular game, and I was satisfying my hankering by playing the game on the channel with Rob, which wasn't going to happen again anytime soon.
Yeah.
So I just decided, fuck it, I'll play it. And then I ended up, I didn't think, because I wasn't going to buy the Legendary Collection. I already own the game, so why would I spend the money?
Yeah.
But specifically on Xbox, they're doing a smart delivery program where if you own the original copy of a game, you get the re-release for free. But you have to have the original game's disc inserted and whatever, just an anti-piracy thing. And so I got the Legendary Edition for free, and so that made me want to play through 1 to see what the changes were. And playing through 1, I just had such a good time that I played through 2 again. And but yeah, the Legendary Collection Edition, whatever it's called, it's I don't think there's a better deal for a full price release right now than that is.
Yeah.
That is 3 amazing AAA games for the price of 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pokemon Red, Nuzlocke, and Mass Effect is what I've been playing.
Cool. How about you, Nathan? What have you been playing?
Oh boy. So
pull up a chair, son.
Yeah. Grab your blankies and pillows. We're going to be here for a while.
I'm still working on my campaign. It's going pretty good. I like it. Still need to test play, but I'll get there eventually.
I keep telling you, when you're ready to test play, that could be a series on the channel, is make us test play your campaign.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you guys have to listen too, I'll do it with you. It's kind of the same world that I GM in, and also the one I'm trying to write a book in. So yeah,
you just live and breathe the same universe.
Well, I mean, we do that already.
It's more of a. So because I'm writing it, I like to fully flesh out a world. And
Yeah.
doing that, I find no better way to do it than interact with the world. So I
Yeah.
kind of through GMing and then doing this custom campaign, all that, I can like how the worlds work and all the people in it, like everything about it, and then from there write something in a world that's a little bit more fleshed out than just, hey, brain blurb. Let's see how this goes. So it's refining the story, if you so will. But yeah, I've been doing that one. Total War Warhammer 2, they got a new expansion coming out pretty quick here. That was announced. Woo. And Warhammer 3 looks super zany. And then, aside from the ones that I'm normally playing, I've actually got my hands on MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries. Came to Steam, and I got gifted it, and it is a lot of fun. There are some bugs and all that, but overall, like, I have been enjoying that game so much right now. I can't even, like, they're even saying that they're going to integrate that words. Basically, they're going to use the Steam Workshop and all that. So I'm excited to see what mods come along that I can load up. Maybe get some of the mechs that they didn't include into it. It's gonna be a bit of a party. I can't wait.
I like when developers
RimWorld.
encourage that.
Oh yeah, I love it
Like
when
mods and
developers
stuff?
encourage modding.
Yeah.
It makes it. You can just like go completely crazy and have like completely different experiences whenever
And I
you
think
want.
it's a healthy thing for the industry to do, because then, there's people that are kind of pseudo learning game design because they can just mod existing games. So it's a healthy ecosystem
And
for
on
the industry.
top of that, you're also making your games live a lot longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without having to do shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are seeing, you can get, I don't know, Thomas the Tank Engine and Macho Man Randy
It's
Savage in
always
Skyrim.
Thomas the Tank Engine. Like, it's always. Every
I
mod,
always
everywhere.
think that
Always Thomas the Tank Engine.
yeah.
Don't know what that's about.
Like, I really think that Skyrim actually hit like the sweet spot with theirs, because like they had like everybody mods all that, but because everybody mods all of it, people were still so super like they were interacting with Skyrim for like constantly, honestly. Like even up to now, people are still playing that shit.
Yeah.
So whenever
shit.
they were releasing like a DLC or something, they had so much longer to work on it because everybody's still playing it and the retention's still there. And then their DLCs just added so much more content that everybody else would just take and go to the moon and back with. Like,
yeah.
that one is. I'm still surprised Skyrim is fucking living the life it is.
Yeah. Oh my god. No kidding.
But at the same time, with the people who are like making it, because it's like a really good mix of like just an open world, go do whatever, but it also has enough sustenance that base game you're still running around and you're still like finding weird shit you never knew.
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
there,
Like
even
it's
though
a meaty game for sure.
like 20th. Yeah. So I love it when they introduce modding into these games because it just goes crazy. Like, same with Stellaris. That's why I'm playing that so much. Same with Total War Warhammer 2 because it just got so much going on for it. So, yeah. That's my little modding rant. I love modding, and I always will. And honestly, on that topic, also RimWorld, because I've been playing that a lot, and that game is literally like the base game that you get is only 20% of the game, because then you look at the mods and you go, holy shit, what is all this? Love it. So yeah, RimWorld. Yeah, that's been the most of it. Oh, and Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I almost forgot about that. I don't know why I've been playing that thing so much lately. I was telling Tom and Rob about it last night, but I had a little bit of an annoyance up here because I'm like, I'm going to sit through and I'm going to play I'm going to do my best to 100% like Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2, and like all of it all the way up. And I did really good on Mass Effect 1. I got like a lot of the side content, but I realized halfway through Mass Effect 2, just watching someone on YouTube just like mention a quest or something on Mass Effect 1, I'm like, I didn't do that. Shit. So now there's like this like twitch in me, even though I'm halfway through, I'm just like, maybe I should just start a new one as a Sentinel, because I've been kind of wanting to do a Sentinel run, and then just redo all Mass Effect 1 and get that quest I missed.
Jeez.
It's like, oh no, it's like
Gosh.
lingering in the back of my mind now. It's like, oh boy.
Yeah,
Also,
between you
there's
guys-
there's
sorry, go
a
ahead.
mod that lets it. I'm fine. There's a mod that lets you get, I think, Legion a bit earlier in Mass Effect 2. Kind of want to do that too, because Legion's like my fave. Anyways, what were you saying?
Yeah, just between you guys and Jordan, our like group chat here in Discord is, I mean, less so now, but at one point was like 90% Mass Effect memes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're probably like all playing through it at the same time. So
Yeah, like it's gone Mass Effect memes, Nuzlocke discussion, and then the
Yeah.
terrible, terrible video that Nathan showed us last night.
It was a beautiful thing. That was just just watching the Nuzlocke and like go, hey, have you guys ever heard this? And Tom and Rob just go, no. So sent them a link, and it's a beautiful video.
I mean, I'd heard of the concept. I just didn't realize it was a
Yeah. Yeah, no, like people have like spoofed it to hell, like the SpongeBob version I was talking about and all that. But no, no matter how much you spoof it, I think the one I sent you is definitely the top tier of like what the
Anyway,
I like
that's
how we're
me.
just like skipping over what it exactly was. Just leave everybody in suspense.
Yeah, talking about it is kind of giving me flashbacks. So anyway,
I know, right? I don't want to say the name.
So yeah, like most of what I've been playing is just kind of the standard few sports games that I'm usually playing at any given time. Other than that, I've been playing. Actually, I picked up Loop Hero a little while ago, which I've been really getting into. It's
I
like
really want to try it.
it's cool. It's kind of a god game roguelike strategy card game thing.
the kitchen sink.
Okay.
Yeah, like you have just this looping path that this little sort of hero character is going around, and monsters come up for them to defeat. And you don't actually control the hero, they just fight on their own. But as you defeat monsters, you get cards that you can put terrain on the battlefield or put more monsters down. You get equipment that you can give to them, and it's like you're basically just kind of managing things so that eventually they can get to a point in the loop where they fight the Lich, which is it's at least the first boss of the game. I have not gotten past it, so I don't know if the others are just more liches or other things. But yeah, it's just like it's addictive in a weird way. Like I don't usually play more than one or two runs at a time, but once you get going on a run, it's really easy to get caught up and just start putting stuff down and keep seeing how far you can go. So yeah, I've just been really enjoying that.
Huh.
And that's it. So yeah, I guess now we can get on to what we think is going to happen and what we hope is going to happen at E3. I've just got a list here of all the presentations that are supposed to happen.
Oh, sweet.
So I guess we'll just sort of go down those in order, starting with Ubisoft. What is everyone hoping for from Ubisoft?
I think, assuming it wasn't quietly cancelled, which I think it might have been, but I think they might finally show Beyond Good and Evil 2, what they've done with it.
Oh.
because
Interesting.
they showed it at E3. I think it was like 2016 or 2015, and everybody was
Sounds
excited
right.
that there's finally a new Beyond Good and Evil game, and then they showed a development update like 2 years later to prove that it's still in development, and then it's been silent ever since. So I think it was either I think it's either been quietly just discontinued, they just canceled it and never made an announcement and just hoped that people would forget about it. And then there's people like me that live and breathe the sixth console generation, so I remember Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah. Well,
So I hope it wasn't canceled. If it's not at this E3, I think it definitely was.
Yeah, honestly, I hadn't even heard about the updates, so I just kind of assumed it had already been canceled.
well, I mean, unless it's like a big game, it depends on how much people are talking about it, right? Like, just because the developers themselves haven't really said anything about it, I don't think that means that it's been kicked or anything like that. But
No,
I
it
don't
just
know.
feels kind of like Beyond Good and Evil sold the best on the GameCube.
Yeah,
And because of that, I remember all of the rumors that after they showed it that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is going to be exclusive to the NX. So just because we live in a world now where the
Right.
Switch is even like old news, it's like is that game even
fair
coming out?
yeah. I guess that's fair. But I mean, like, look at Biomutant, right? like that game has been in development forever, and it did come out. So it's just if the games that need time, I don't know, they need time.
I actually did not realize Biomutant had that kind of history behind it. I just all of a sudden, Biomutant's out. Oh,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. But apparently it was like, I don't
Yeah.
know, it was like shown off. Like, how many years ago was it? You told me this, Tom. I don't remember. But
It was like the same E3, I think. Like 2016 or 15.
oh,
or
okay,
something.
yeah. And then nobody heard about it till almost I never even heard about it until it came out. So I was like, oh,
Months ago,
that
all of a
looks
sudden
interesting.
people
But
were talking
apparently it's
about it.
had this long history that it's just been silent, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Ubisoft. The other game that kind of vanished that I wonder what happened to it is Skull and Bones. That one was also shown off years ago, and then they never. I don't think it would.
I haven't thought about that game.
I don't even remember what that one was.
I've never heard of it.
Heard
was,
the title, can't remember anymore.
it was a pirate game basically, where they were going to create. I don't remember all the marketing mumbo jumbo around it, but it was basically like the pirate portion of Assassin's Creed 4. People loved that, so Ubisoft decided to make their own IP around just sort of
Pirates.
third-person action adventure pirate game. But I don't think I don't think it'll succeed anymore because I think it'll constantly just get compared to Sea of Thieves now.
Oh,
Which already has such an established player base.
yes, it does.
Which is why I think they might have quietly canceled it because they knew between the time of its announcement and we've never seen anything since, Sea of Thieves released and has been a huge hit.
Yeah.
And so I think they probably quietly canceled it, but I'd be curious if they talk about it.
Well, I mean, I just Googled it now. You can register for the beta on Ubisoft's website.
So funny.
Is there a date
hilarious.
there anywhere?
Yeah,
Was that beta
yeah.
2018?
It doesn't say. It's one of those web pages that's very slick and flashy and tells you almost nothing.
It's just a glorified billboard.
Yeah, think about any restaurant's website you've been on in the last few years.
That's so true.
Basically, yeah.
So true. Oh my god, they're pretty much just oh yeah, Jesus.
So those are the two AAA curiosities I have. But it just popped into my head now. Do you think they'll ever do another 3D platformer Rayman?
I don't know, because I feel like the 2D one sold pretty well. They haven't done a 3D one in a while.
I just wonder if 3D platformers
idea.
coming back, if that would make them kind of blow the dust off of
Interesting.
Rayman.
Yeah, maybe.
I'd love to see Rayman come back because that's been ages.
Yeah,
I have
really.
no idea.
Really, the only thing I'm kind of hoping for from Ubisoft is, not to the same extent as Beyond Good and Evil 2, but again, like I think it was a couple of years ago they showed off Roller Champions, which was a weird like free to play roller derby game. And I think they've done an alpha since then, but they haven't talked about a release date at all. So I'd like to hear some more about that.
Yeah, I remember that now. That looked cool.
Yeah, and it's one of the few like sort of big Ubisoft releases that is actually planned for the Switch.
Now, Steep was planned.
Which brings me to another one that I was looking at, Riders Republic, which is, I guess, like a free-to-play BMX open world game.
Oh, interesting.
Which...
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, like that's one I'd really like to try, but it is only coming to, I think, like PS5, Series X, and PC, which means it is not coming to PCs that I can afford.
Right.
So, if we're lucky, it'll get announced for the Switch and then quietly canceled 2 years later as well.
You ever meet like one of the higher ups at Ubisoft? You should just like give him a snowboard and then cry and walk away.
I was gonna learn to ride this
by playing your game.
Alright, was there anything else Ubisoft's doing that anyone's excited for?
Nothing that's announced. There's been tons of rumors. A lot of people really liked what was that called? Starlink on the Switch.
Oh yeah.
Because the Switch version had the Star Fox characters written into the story, and everybody pointed out how it was a better Star Fox game than what Nintendo made. So I almost wonder if like the fact that Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle was a thing and it was well received, and Starlink was well received as a quote-unquote Star Fox game, I almost wonder if Nintendo has partnered with Ubisoft on something that we have no knowledge of. Like if there is a Star Fox game coming and Ubisoft is making it.
Maybe. Yeah. That'd be really cool.
Maybe.
That'd be cool. I'd be into that.
Yeah, I like the sound of Starlink, except for like the fact that it was, again, one of those like toys to life games.
Yeah, I remember seeing all the fucking toys at like, I don't know, Walmart, maybe Toys R Us.
Yeah, like I like the idea of getting, specific parts that you can use to construct your own spaceship or whatever, but I'd really rather do that in the game than just all this plastic around cluttering everything up.
Yeah.
You could buy them in-game for the same prices as the kits, so that wouldn't happen. But then you encroach on that same territory of the, like... But then it's just full of microtransactions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, take the microtransactions or the toys or whatever out of that, and yeah, I'd be interested in that.
If only we could take microtransactions out of that.
All right, so the next presentation after that is Gearbox. Anyone have anything to say about Gearbox? I looked them up and I don't even remember what they've done.
The Gearbox is who made Borderlands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they've done like Borderlands and such.
They've done other things. They of course, that's just their most famous thing.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything I'd really be interested in what they're doing beyond. I think one of the Borderlands games came to Switch recently, didn't it, or last year?
I think so.
Yeah, I think a couple of them did, didn't they?
It's just out of my wheelhouse. I don't play Borderlands, but assuming sold well. And as I'm speaking, I'm starting to remember. I think it was a 1 and 2 collection.
Yeah, it was a legendary collection on the Switch.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if 3 came to the Switch, but now that 3's DLC is done, I wonder if there's a complete edition coming to Switch or something.
Yeah, maybe. I've heard good things about the series.
I don't play.
I've never played it,
Borderlands.
but yeah.
Mm.
I'm not really into games
just
like
trying to
that,
think-
so
Like they've had like some really hard like hits or like blows lately from what I can remember, because like they had Battleborn, which completely died.
Oh, was that bad?
Yeah, Battleborn had the unfortunate thing of being like, I played a demo of it. It had the unfortunate thing of being a really good game that was a hero shooter type situation, but it released like the same week as Overwatch, and Overwatch
Oh.
killed it.
Yeah.
Overwatch
Well, then they also
decimated.
had-
So.
Godfall, which I don't ever remember
Oh
hearing
yeah,
anything about Godfall ever.
I remember when it was like at the E3 or whatever, and it looked, I don't know, it looked interesting, but somebody might crucify me for saying this, but at the same time, it looked kind of generic. Like
I
it just
know.
didn't look very. Yeah, it just was like blah. I don't know.
Yeah, and then like Duke Nukem Forever, which was meh. And
Duke Nukem.
I think they
fuck,
also
Duke
did.
Nukem. Fuck.
Yeah, and then I think they also did like a Homeworld. What was the one that you were on? Homeworld Deserts of something. Which I like it. I've heard it's a pretty good game. Just it released like when it released. I don't remember ever hearing about it releasing, and then like it wasn't until later that people were like, "Oh yeah, this game's out." I'm like, "Wait, it is? Hold on 2 seconds." I haven't played it yet either because I just don't really have a desire to. Like a homeworld game when you're stuck on the ground is a little bit weird to me, seeing how their whole thing going on with homeworld was, hey, look at this huge 3D real-time strategy, like ship combat.
Yeah.
Going on to like, hey, you're in a desert. It was just meh. But yeah, like the only thing I could think of for Gearbox right now is maybe a like DLC for Borderlands 3, but I don't know.
I think they also
honestly,
made.
they have fallen off the edge of the world for me at this point. I can't tell you what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think. Just quickly, Rob, is there a Sega conference this year?
Not that I could find.
No. Okay. So I know Sega has things in the works that are being announced, but they typically sprinkle them in everybody else's stuff. But just quickly, the reason why I'm bringing Sega up is Gearbox, I'm just remembering now, with under Sega's licensing, they're the ones that made Aliens Colonial Marines, which, say what you will about the game, my topic isn't necessarily the game, but I wonder if Gearbox... there's an Alien game, I can't remember the developer, but Sega and 20th Century Fox are publishing, it's called Aliens Fireteam. And I can't remember who's making it, but I hope to see more of it at E3 this year because it looked interesting.
Yeah, it looks like Sega's going to be there, like just to have games to show off, but they're not going to do a presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sega Dreamcast Mini confirmed.
There you go. Dreamcast X.
You wish.
All right. Well, the good news is after Gearbox is Xbox and Bethesda.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
There's a list I could go down on that one.
There you go. Well, exactly.
What we're here for.
Yeah.
I think Starlink or Starfield's finally going to be shown.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure about that too.
Yeah, that was...
looking at everything, they're most likely going to show it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be released this year, but
No, but they'll talk about it.
Yeah, they're definitely going to like give a more of
Probably
like
a
hey,
new trailer,
this is, like, the shit
gameplay,
to
or
do.
something. There'll be something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like it was a few years ago now that they first announced that, wasn't it?
I think it's 2019. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
Could be
about
wrong.
right.
It
That sounds
feels
about
like
right.
ages though. So
It was 2019 E3, but I think Todd Howard said in that conference that it had already been in development for a while.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So I don't think it's super far out. If it's not this year, I think it's releasing next year.
Mhm.
yeah.
And honestly, I'd almost expect if it was going to release this year, I almost expect that it will come out next year anyway. Because I feel like now that Bethesda's owned by Xbox, I don't think Xbox will let them release games in the state that they normally do.
Yeah.
Because now these brands, these franchises are directly tied to Xbox, so I don't think we'll see. I don't think the Elder Scrolls 6 will have the glitches that Skyrim does when it comes out.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that'd be a huge PR thing for Xbox too. Like
Yeah.
to have them buy it Bethesda and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, the games all work now on release. You're welcome.
Ta-da!
Oh Jesus.
But yeah, I had both Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 as games that I think have a good chance.
I don't
I don't
think they're
think
gonna
about
talk
Elder
about
Scrolls
Elder Scrolls 6. I honestly don't think so.
I-
Because when they did that reveal, I use air quotes, reveal trailer that they're making it, they pretty much just gave it to the public because they're just like, stop asking us.
It really
it's
felt
coming,
like more of a.
So here you go, but
Yeah.
stop asking us. So I think it might. I'm still
It's
thinking
more
it
of a
might
we're
be
doing
like a year or two before we hear anything else about the new Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
I feel like that was like that. That was the
Because
same
I
thing
believe
with
that was also
Starfield, right?
2019. I believe
Yeah,
that was
it was,
also
yeah.
2019.
Yeah,
Because like
just like with how
they've been
big
focusing on they've been focusing on Starfield so much.
Yeah,
That-
right.
And like this was even before they had the acquisition. Like I don't think they really had the manpower with all the smaller games that they do push out and all their little studios. I don't think they had the manpower to both work on Starfield, which is supposed to be one of their big games coming out, and on top of that, Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, and
I
they're
don't
still
think they're
doing
in a
stuff with
rush
Elder
to
Scrolls
either.
Online, so they're still doing big stuff with
So
that
much.
right now.
Yeah, but
They
like,
released
just
expansion.
like from
I'm actually going to be trying that later. I'm just like, ooh,
just
this looks
from a
cool.
marketing standpoint. Like, I would not want to be the company that announces something at the biggest show in the industry, and then 2 years later, no, still have nothing to show off. 'Cause,
I mean, Nintendo's been doing it.
Nintendo does
and
that.
we've seen how people
Nintendo's been doing it.
reacted to that.
Nintendo does it. There are other companies that
just
do
say,
too.
but just
I just
given
had
what
an idea. I just had a thought.
Oh,
Obsidian was purchased by Microsoft and made a first-party studio before the Bethesda acquisition. And
Mhm.
Obsidian is fantastic at making Western RPGs. That's what they're known for. People might have forgotten now, but during the Xbox Series X showcase before the console launched, we got a glimpse of Obsidian's working on an Elder Scrolls-like RPG called Avowed. I
Yeah.
don't think Elder Scrolls 6 will be shown, but I think Avowed might be.
Yeah, that's the
That's
one I was
true.
going to say. Is I think Avowed is definitely going to be.
But
on
yeah,
the list, though.
just what I was gonna say before, just given the attitude that Bethesda gave when they showed off Elder Scrolls 6, that's why I think it's still far off. Because they gave us this little cinematic reveal or whatever, but
It
they
very
were
much felt
firm
like
on
a
saying
we're
it's
doing it.
this is a long way off, but we're showing you that we're gonna do it. Because
Yeah.
the community was just hounding them about it, just because of how long Skyrim's been in the run. We just talked about that, right? But just given the attitude that Bethesda had when they showed off that reveal trailer, that's why I'm pretty confident that we're probably still not going to hear anything about it. That's the only reason why I say that.
I don't know. I definitely don't expect it to be like coming out anytime soon.
Yeah.
I just like
You think that they might give like more information or something?
Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if they had at least something.
Yeah.
I can see them
Don't know.
talking about something like maybe where in Tamriel this one's taking place, kind of thing.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think we both hammered that one out pretty well, though. Pretty sure it's going to be in Hammerfell.
Oh, well.
Makes sense.
I did just find a headline: The Elder Scrolls 6 location confirmed not to take place in this fan favorite place. So let's see what that fan favorite place is.
Well, it's probably like Skyrim. Like,
Yeah, Skyrim.
shit.
It is. It says The Elder Scrolls 6 could be set in Morrowind, but not during the time of the Dwemer.
That did not
Morrowind.
look at all like
Morrowind.
Morrowind. I'm
What?
sorry. The fucking you need the mushroom trees and like the weird ass like jellyfish
It was
crawlers.
just
And that's gonna be
mountains. For all we
Morrowind.
know, it could have been stock.
That's like that was mountains and desert. That says nothing about Morrowind.
It's taking place
It says
in
nothing
Middle
about
Earth.
anything.
It's taking place in Middle Earth.
New Zealand.
We're invading the world of Tolkien. Everybody, let's
my
go.
God. Oh gosh.
All right.
I would actually just for shits and giggles, totally would love to see just like Tolkien universe and like fucking Skyrim or something.
Hell yeah.
That,
Hell
that
yeah.
would be cool, actually.
Hell yeah.
Great.
That would be,
I'd
that'd be
love that.
dope. That'd be dope.
All right. So on the topic, this one I think is less likely, but on the topic of things that have only basically been announced and not shown off, how likely do we think we're gonna hear about Fable?
That's actually
Ooh.
what I was going to say.
Mm.
Fable had the feel that it was still like pretty early development and in concept last
Yeah.
time.
I agree with that, yeah.
So I'm
That
not
one was
sure.
not
Like we
long
might get
ago at
another
all.
little like, hey, it's still being worked on thing,
'Cause-
but I don't think we're going to get anything solid yet.
When did we get that? That was at the Game Awards, yeah?
Yeah.
Was that, or was that
Yeah.
earlier?
That's
don't
Game
remember.
Awards, I think.
Okay. I think it's still a little too early, in my opinion. But I don't know. I'm always wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of things.
Well, see, this is just my own perception, maybe, but I honestly think, just given that there's a Fable in development, Avowed is in development, and Elder Scrolls 6, I feel like even if all three of them were ready to go right now, I think Microsoft would probably give each game about a 2-year breathing period
Yeah,
between
they're going
each
to
other.
space
Yeah.
them out.
Considering the
So-
genres are very similar, so
We knew
And
about
like-
Avowed a long time before Fable, so I feel like
Yeah.
if it comes out this year, I feel like Avowed is this year, and then 2 years from now is Fable, and then maybe a year
And
or
then
two after
Elder
that is Elder
Scrolls.
Scrolls.
yeah,
Because
that
they're still working on Starfield. They're not working on Elder Scrolls right now. So
No.
I'm pretty sure it's going to
No.
be like that.
I'm pretty sure we won't hear anything about Elder Scrolls until Starfield's out and done and all that shit.
There was an interview or something, and I think, or from what I remember, it was even the guy even said in it that they have not started on like they're wanting to get Starfield out of the way before
Yeah,
they actually start
yeah.
putting their efforts into Elder Scrolls. Like they're
Okay.
putting all their stuff into it, so it's not going to be coming out.
Yeah, they
and, like,
literally just
if
gave
they
us
have
the
Elder
title because they're like,
Scrolls,
stop
online,
asking us. We're tired of you asking us.
Yeah.
It's
and, like,
coming.
They still have
Shut
online.
up.
It's still going strong. Like they really don't need an Elder Scrolls to come out right now.
Yeah.
Which sucks because I really want another Elder Scrolls to come out right now. I love the single player aspect, but
Maybe
they're
I'm just
not.
a bit of
an
a
announcement of just like giving you the title and say, "See, it's coming." That doesn't work. That's what Nintendo
I
did with
know.
Metroid Prime 4, and Metroid fans hate them for it.
Well, yeah, but
Well, at the same time, though, a Metroid game didn't come out in ages, but they still have.
yeah, I mean, I think Metroid fans are a little bit more butthurt than Elder Scrolls.
and they have
fans
very
are.
good right to be, honestly. Like for
And yes, they do. Yeah, so they
That's
have
why- that's
every
like, if
fair
I
right
had,
to be
like-
butthurt.
Yeah, if I had like my fantasy like L the Blue dream of what I wanted to see announced, it'd definitely be a new Metroid because I really want.
Everyone
We'll
wants a new
get to
Metroid.
that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Alright.
About the Elder Scrolls thing. Maybe I'm just a bit of a butthurt fanboy kind of thing where I didn't like Skyrim as much as everybody else did back when it came out. I thought it was good. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
Even with mods, I don't think it deserves the staying power and the constant re-releases that it's had.
No,
But that's the thing is I'm in the minority and I accept that. If everybody loves it, that's great. But there's this. So Obsidian made fantastic Western RPGs, and then they made the best Fallout game.
Yeah.
And they were the
Yeah.
ones that invented Fallout, by the way, and
Mhm.
Bethesda bought it from them.
And fudged
They
it.
made Fallout New Vegas, the best Fallout game ever.
So good.
Then they stabbed Obsidian in the back. Obsidian almost went bankrupt. Microsoft bought them, and now they're making Avowed. I truly want Elder Scrolls 6 to suck ass and Avowed to just take over. Especially with some of the shit that Bethesda's pulled in recent
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
But
Especially with Fallout.
That being said, now that they're owned by Microsoft, I think Xbox will. Now their public image is tied to Bethesda's. I don't think we'll see the shenanigans we have been from them.
Yeah,
anymore.
expectations will definitely be higher, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I really want to see Avowed, and I really hope that it just.
I mean,
hope it
I
becomes
hope
the
that it's
next
fucking
Elder Scrolls.
awesome. I hope that it's fucking awesome because I'm excited. I love games like that. I love that genre, and which is why I was excited when they told us that they would get a new Elder Scrolls. Because I started to feel the Skyrim fatigue. Like I like Skyrim, but even I can agree that it got a little excessive. But obviously they were trying to milk their property for all it was worth, right? But
I respect Bethesda a little bit for the way they handled like giving into the meme.
Yeah.
Skyrim's everywhere, so now we are legitimately going to release it.
The
for a
fucking
smart
Alexa on it, like fuck, that was so crazy. Eat all the cheese.
I mean, like it makes
great.
sense because it was a massively popular game, and I wish companies did actually make the effort to re-release popular games like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now that we live in a more digital age, I feel like it's going to become less of an issue. But that's the reason why, just as a side note, people used to get mad at me online all the time when I'd say like, oh, another Skyrim re-release. But then Ocarina of Time comes to the 3DS and I'm like, yes. And my reasoning is the games that pre-exist the digital era are in a real risk of being lost to time. Unless we have these remasters and re-releases.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's neither really here nor there. At the Xbox conference, I really hope we see Avowed.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll see. Obsidian's not a huge team, so I don't think we'll see Outer Worlds 2 or anything like that. But if they've got something on the side, I wonder. What else is going on? Because technically, didn't Obsidian make that game that came out last year where you're like shrunken children in a backyard or something like that?
Yeah.
I think it was them.
I feel like, was it them or was it Rare? I don't remember.
No, I don't remember. What was that game called?
I don't remember.
I feel like it was Grounded. I don't remember.
Grounded.
Yeah,
I think it is it.
Pretty sure.
I could just never bring myself to actually play it because as soon as I see like a ladybug or something, I'd probably pass.
Yeah, that's Obsidian. That's Obsidian. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that sounds like a game that might kill you if you played it.
Yeah, with all the big beetles and stuff. Yeah.
All right. So, how much are we expecting to see of Halo Infinite? Because it is supposed to come out this year, I think.
So, I was thinking about that today.
Interesting.
Given that it was supposed to release last year, and the only reason why it was delayed was because of the backlash mostly the visuals got. I feel like they've spent the past year. I feel like the base game was essentially done because it was supposed to be a launch title.
Yeah.
So I think the past year they've basically just been prettying it up, fine-tuning it. So
it's been a lot of refining, yeah.
Assuming it releases in November, because I think it's going to be their big holiday title. So assuming it releases in November, I think we're going to see another cinematic trailer that gives us a little bit more of the story.
And what it looks like now.
I think they're going to show some campaign gameplay. Then I think they're going to show some multiplayer gameplay. And then they're going to announce the 2, because they used to do 2 every time back when Bungie did it. I think they're going to announce the dates for the 2 betas. I think there'll be a beta in September and a beta in October, and then a release in November.
I could see that.
Sounds appropriate.
And I feel like just because Xbox owns Bethesda now, I think it would almost be a waste if some of the unlockable Spartan armor wasn't based off of Doom Guy.
That'd be funny.
It's just such an obvious and easy crossover.
It is, yeah.
All right. So after Xbox is Square Enix. I haven't really heard much about what they might have been working on lately.
Yeah.
I wonder if we finally see the second part of Final Fantasy VII.
That'd be my best guess. They did announce a title for it lately.
No, what you're thinking
that
of
was
is Intergrade.
Yeah.
Which is
is that not the official second part?
No,
it's Kingdom Heartsing it.
It's it's PS5 exclusive DLC to the first part.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's with like the Yuffie stuff, right?
Yeah. Now, if you have the PS4 version, even though you can play it on a PS5, if it's technically the PS4 version, you can't get the DLC. So you have to buy the game again, and then buy the DLC. And this is exactly what I was afraid of.
Yeah.
But
Mass Effect did such a good job with their release.
Assuming that this is the only time that they'll do something like that, which I doubt it is, but assuming that's the case, if the second part isn't announced or shown in some fashion, I feel like they'll finally announce the Xbox version of part 1. Because it was always a timed exclusive, but they've never commented on what the other platforms might be. But I think it's pretty safe to assume it'll be the other giant console manufacturer.
Yeah.
So I feel like it'll come to...
Oh, yeah. It's not going to be like PlayStation and Switch.
Yeah, I feel like even if it magically somehow came to Switch, I feel like it would be more likely that they'd announce it for Xbox and PC. And who knows, maybe Microsoft threw some money their way and it's going to come to Game Pass day 1, and that can be a whole thing people on the internet get mad about. But I wonder if they'll show the part 2 or announce a release date or a release window or anything. If not, I think we'll see Final Fantasy 16, because that was teased before.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I always forget about this stuff. There's always so much to keep track of. Jesus.
I just have no other hobbies.
Well, neither do I, but there's just so much.
I mean, I have my bow, my archery, but those are my 2 hobbies. Let's see. I mean, we got the Dragon Quest announcement, so I don't think we'll see anything Dragon Quest related. I don't think we'll see anything Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, besides Final Fantasy, I don't know what else they... Oh, Square Enix was the ones making that PS5 game. It kind of looked like a platformer, kind of. What was it called? Oh, hell. It was like Project Athea or something like that. Let me... Going to Google, here I go. Project Athea.
Okay.
Oh, its real name now is Forspoken. I didn't realize there was a name tied to it now.
Oh.
But I wonder if we'll see actual gameplay for it. It says release date 2022. So I wonder if...
they'll probably talk more about that, I'm sure. If it's supposed to be released in 2022, they'll probably talk about that.
Yeah, especially given that, like, they just gave it an actual name now.
Yeah.
I hope... Actually, speaking of Square Enix, I hope they give an actual name to Project Triangle Strategy.
Oh, yeah!
I like the title Octopath Traveler. Triangle Strategy is not good.
Triangle Strategy.
Project Game.
Yeah, Project Game.
Project Interactive Software.
Yeah.
All right. So after that, it's I guess there's sort of another big one after that. Take-Two is supposed to be there, apparently with a new Rockstar title.
Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PS6.
What, it's not on the PS5 yet?
One could wish. That's another game that's gone on so long. Jesus Christ.
I normally don't like the memes that are poking fun deliberately at something like terrible from our youths or something, or making fun of our generation for being like showing like Pokemon Gen 1 and then Pokemon Gen whatever they're on now, 8 or 9, and being like, why do they think this is better than that? But there was one I really liked that made me laugh, and it was like what I grew up with and what my son grew up with, and it was just Grand Theft Auto 5 on PS3 and then Grand Theft Auto 5 on PS5. It's like, man, they're contending with Skyrim here.
Yeah, it's weird what Grand Theft Auto 5 has become. Like, at this point, the way it's sort of continued is just so completely divorced from the story mode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I still like it when they first released and it was like, hey, we're going to have story expansions and everything. Fucking haven't seen a
I don't even...
And then years later, no, it's races now. It's a racing game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I watch a lot of Funhouse, so I'm not complaining, but it's just weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think most likely it probably is going to be some sort of like enhanced version of Grand Theft Auto 5.
I could see them maybe finally bringing it to Switch.
Probably.
Just as like an extra, because even if it's
everywhere else,
they could just port the Xbox 360 version over, kind of thing. Because it's essentially the same game, just not as visually appealing, but the Switch is more than capable of playing the games from that generation, so they could easily just, hey, this old version we have in our archives is not making us any money, let's drop it on Switch and see if Switch owners give us some money.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't really know what Take-Two and Rockstar actually do anymore beyond milking Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto.
Well, I mean, the Red Dead Redemption Online is still active, so... Which is pretty fun, I like that.
Which means we might get Red Dead Redemption 3 by the time video games are a liquid we inject into our eyeballs.
Honestly, I don't think we need another Red Dead. I don't know.
That's probably what Rockstar's thinking too.
Yeah, no kidding.
They don't need I don't know, like it's the whole Mass Effect thing. Like there's some things that should just stop, you know?
Yes.
And I feel like what else could they do with the Red Dead like franchise, I suppose, but like I mean unless they wanted to do something similar with Mass Effect and Andromeda but make it in like the same time period or whatever, but then like a different story, like I don't know. It would be kind of interested if they took it in the direction of, instead of from the outlaw's perspective, it's from like the law perspective, and instead of being an outlaw, you're like a police officer or something. That'd be interesting. That would be interesting. But I don't know. That's just word vomit. But
all right. So there are a few presentations after that where I don't really expect anything of any significance to be announced. Maybe Capcom. Although I don't know what they're working on right now.
Okami.
Dino Crisis.
You and I have very unrealistic expectations for Capcom.
Yeah, if anything, I think it's probably just going to be, here's the more content we have coming from Monster Hunter.
Yeah, probably. Well, I don't know. Well, they'll probably talk about Monster Hunter stories a bit.
Oh,
but
right.
they just had an event recently, like I want to say like a week ago.
Oh.
Where they released the 3.0 for Monster Hunter Rise, and then they talked a little bit more about Monster Hunter Stories. So they did do that recently, so I don't think I don't know what they'll have, or if they'll do anything during E3, but at least Monster Hunter related anyway.
Yeah.
Goof Troop Legends.
Goof Troop.
Hmm. I feel like Capcom might have that one surprise. And you know what? I'm probably giving them too much credit. I bet you they'll show a remake of Resident Evil 4.
Oh, yeah. That's actually probably a good bet.
Yeah.
So
I
much
can see
Resident Evil.
I forgot that Resident Evil was Capcom.
Oh my. It's like the number one thing they're known for.
No, I forgot it because it's a game. They don't make many of those anymore. Alright, after that is Mythical, which I had never heard of, and when I googled them, they appear to just be making like blockchain games, I guess. I don't understand it, so they're probably not going to have anything.
Nothing of interest.
Yeah. Then
Pass
Freedom,
over them.
which I guess is like kind of an indie publisher. I'd never heard of any of their stuff.
Yeah.
Verizon's going to be there. Verizon's going to do a presentation.
Of course.
Oh boy.
And then after that is the big one, Nintendo.
Yeah, there's been lots of talk about that. That's for sure. Okay, all right. So, big question: who here thinks that they're gonna talk about the new Switch revision? I don't want to call it the Switch Pro because I don't think they're gonna call it that. But
I'm
whatever.
glad someone brought it up, so I didn't have to. I think it's completely fake. It's not going to happen, and it's going to be really, really funny when it does.
It's gonna be really funny. I mean, there's evidence to support that there is a new Switch revision.
Is there evidence, or is there just people saying things?
Samsung has a couple. I think it's I can't remember the number. It's something like 200,000 or something, but Samsung is making like 200,000 OLED 7-inch screens for Nintendo, and nobody knows what it's for. What else could it be for?
But like, there's also I don't know. I didn't look too far into it because I'm on the opinion that like I don't want to feed into rumors and stuff like that because I feel that that's what a lot of the stuff surrounding Nintendo is, because Nintendo is so quiet. So when people find rumors, they latch onto them as if they're leaks, which Nintendo doesn't usually leak because it's Nintendo. So I've been kind of trying to distance myself from it, but as far as I know is that like there is quite a bit of information out there to support that they could be doing a Switch revision. And well, this could kind of go very ranty, but I'll keep it short. But there's been a lot of speculation that the news surrounding the Breath of the Wild sequel will be in line with this new Switch revision. And what I mean by that is that a lot of people are speculating that the more information, the announcement of the name for Breath of the Wild 2 will coincide with this introduction of this new Switch. Because it would make sense. It's the Zelda 35th anniversary, so obviously people are speculating that we're going to see a little bit more news about Breath of the Wild 2. And to have this new AAA title be shown on a new Switch system, looking its best, all that kind of stuff, the timeline can make sense, but
I don't necessarily believe that we'll see it, but I believe that it exists. Because of, if anything else, if you look at Nintendo's track record, there's always Game Boy, then Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, then Game Boy Advance SP, DS, then DSi, and then like 3DS, and then new 3DS.
And like the Nintendo Switch isn't perfect. Like it can use a lot of updates, and of course also updates to help run like other games that don't come from Nintendo, obviously. Because there's some games that can't be put on the Switch because of the hardware limitations. So if they figured out a way to make it better, then obviously they would release a Switch Pro or whatever the fuck they're gonna call it. But because like Nintendo's known to do that, so it's not completely out of the ballpark. But
I don't know, I just like it's been about 3 years now that where I first like started hearing, oh, Nintendo's probably going to release a Switch Pro. I just feel like some people take that as, oh, there's so many rumors. There's like,
Yeah.
there has to be something here. And
Yeah,
I
but that's the
take
thing.
that as-
Rumors are rumors.
yeah, like I take
Yeah.
that as there's so many rumors, and like the only times Nintendo has commented on them has been to deny them.
Yeah, but they're
And, like-
so secretive. So I think that's why people sometimes get ahead of the horse sometimes, because
like,
they're
I get that
they
there's-
hear a rumor and they have to take whatever they can get, right? And then so sometimes they take whatever they can get as a fact instead of it's a rumor for a reason. It's a rumor. It's not
Yeah.
fact. It's not
And-
leaks.
I mean, like, I get Nintendo's usually secretive. Like, how often do they just straight up lie, though?
Yeah. I
'Cause
know.
they've come right out and said, no, we're not planning on, like, an upgrade of the Switch.
They also said the DS was going to be their third pillar, and then it completely replaced the Game Boy Advanced.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's a difference between... Like, I feel like that was more just due to, the market.
Mhm.
People were not buying Game Boy Advances, because why would they? There's a more advanced handheld out. I believe that they legitimately were planning to have it be like its own separate thing. Because there wasn't like exactly the same kind of thing once the Switch came out with the 3DS. Like, they supported it for a little while, but I don't know, they didn't seem to be like so heavily into the idea of promoting. No, it's still going to be like Switch and 3DS from now on.
That's true. I think we're going to get a Switch Pro, Breath of the Wild 3, Metroid Prime Trilogy.
Breath of the Wild 3, we haven't even gotten 2 yet.
I do think they're going to show off the sequel to Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. Switch Pro aside, I'm pretty sure, because like when we had the Skyward Sword presentation, Aonuma did say that later this year we will hear news about Breath of the Wild 2. So I'm pretty sure this is our window that we're gonna start seeing. Like, they're gonna at least give us a name. They might show us another trailer, and maybe if they're generous, we might see a teensy bit of gameplay. But I'm not counting on that quite just yet.
Mm.
Because we'll see. Because I don't predict the game coming out this year. I predict it to be March next year. That's
I'd be
what I
very
predict.
surprised if we got the game this year.
Yeah, I'll be very surprised. I'll be happy as all hell, but I'm gonna be like, I'm not expecting anything. I have very low expectations because Nintendo, don't hurt me. Don't make me sad. Because it's been so long since we've had that reveal trailer. So I'm pretty sure we'll get like a new trailer that might reveal some story aspects. Maybe show some character introductions, whether they're new characters or reoccurring characters. That's what I expect to see. So I don't know. I feel I'm gonna say that they're probably not gonna show us gameplay. I feel we'll get very lucky if they show us any gameplay. They might talk about some gameplay mechanics, but I don't think they'll have anything to show on that front. I think we'll get a name and we'll get a new trailer. That's what I predict.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
What do you think the name's going to be?
I don't know. I've heard some few that have been thrown around, but I don't know. I'm honestly going to be very disappointed if they just call it Breath of the Wild 2. I think I'm going to be soul crushed. I don't know why, but I think because it's lazy at this point because everyone's been calling it that because they don't know what else to call it.
Well, I mean, they've really only ever sort of named the Zelda games like that with like the basically Legend of Zelda 2 on the NES.
Yeah.
The rest of them, they've all come up with these.
Yeah, they've all had
completely
titles.
separate titles,
Yeah.
even when they are direct continuations.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I guess the closest one would be Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, because that's technically a continuation, but obviously the story was very different, so that's why it had its own title. So I don't know. I honestly don't know what they're gonna
I think
do.
they'll keep some of it. I think it'll be like Legend of Zelda Blank of the Wild or Legend of Zelda
Yeah.
Breath of the Blank.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's appropriate that they would do that, just so that it can kind of be a little bit closely related to the original, considering it is a direct sequel. So it'll probably still have some of the existing name in there.
I mean, Majora's direct sequel to Ocarina of Time.
Yeah,
Actually,
I just think in a current with the hype surrounding it and with how successful Breath of the Wild was in the current like marketing
yeah.
it's sort of zeitgeist of how gamers communicate. I that's why I just have a gut feeling they're going to try to keep most of the.
Well, it depends on how much they're going to deviate from. I suppose the core game, because like Breath of the Wild, it was based on exploration of the world, like in the wilds, right? So it depends on how much of that's going to change, because we are going to be visiting the same Hyrule. That's been confirmed. That's old news, but. A lot of people are speculating how are they going to change the world to make it new and fresh. A lot of people are speculating cave exploration, underwater exploration, maybe things like that. So I don't know if they're going to change the name because they're like, oh, well, it's not really the wilds anymore. It might be something different, right? So it's really hard to say. I don't know.
Breath of the ocean.
I think keeping some aspect of the name the same would be the safe and traditional thing to do.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't think Nintendo's going to do it.
Yeah, that is fair. That is fair.
Nintendo is kind of their own beast. Yeah.
They're such a wild card. Like they march to the beat of their own drum, and it's really hard to ever predict what they do.
Like with how Nintendo names things, it's either going to be, The Legend of Zelda, Steel City, or The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wilds.
Yeah, the Wild Blur.
Breath of the Wild U.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to bring up, just because I've been hearing a lot of talk about it, and I wanted to know your guys' opinion. I don't know if I've actually asked you guys this before, but a lot of people are speculating that Zelda will be a playable character in the sequel. Thoughts on that?
I don't know how likely it is. I like the idea. You could
I like the idea of
do
it.
Co-op that way, which I think would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and a lot of people have been thinking because of Hyrule Warriors. I mean, this is a different, it's Hyrule Warriors. It's totally separate from Zelda, but considering she and many other characters were playable in it, a lot of people were thinking like, oh well. They've made her playable in this game, so why can't she be playable in the sequel? But I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about it. I don't even know if I like it.
I don't think
it's just so different than, I don't know. I hate to be like the Scrooge of the bunch, because everyone's like, oh yeah, playable Zelda, hell yeah, and I'm kind of like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Are you sexist?
No!
What do you hate women?
I hate women. I'm a woman and I hate womans.
I'm a woman and I hate womans.
I don't know. It's just so different from the norm. I don't know. I feel like I'm culture shocked by the idea. That's all that I'm trying to get at.
I could see a playable Zelda, not in terms of like at any point, pause the game and switch who you're playing as or something. I don't see that happening.
So segments of sort?
I was gonna say I could see segments where I don't know, like a story or environment scenario where it would happen, but the 2018 Spider-Man game did it, and I thought it worked really well, where in order to tell the narrative from a different perspective, they would have you switch to playing as Mary Jane, and her missions were like stealthing around because she can't fight the bad guys. So I envision it as almost like maybe Zelda has the Sheikah Slate and she's got all the powers from the first game, so you use her to solve puzzles using the old game's powers.
Interesting.
And Link gets a new set of powers this time.
Interesting. That actually kind of makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that'd be kind of
Yeah,
cool.
that makes
I
a
can
lot of
see it.
sense.
Because
Yeah.
then they don't have to. They can keep the original powers.
Yeah,
But
because
that
people have been.
creates a limitation where you don't just give Link 10 new ones, or you don't just give Link 4 or 5 new ones, and then he's got 10 godlike powers. You can split
Yeah.
them.
Because I think if they like just introduced the Sheikah Slate like how we've experienced it through Breath of the Wild, I think that would be kind of lazy and like uninteresting in my opinion, because we've played with it Breath of the Wild and we've exploited it as much as we can. So I think that having a new like ability set for Link is more than acceptable to expect for the sequel. So, but yeah, having Zelda use those is a good excuse to keep those mechanics around. So that's something I haven't really heard thrown around too much.
Mhm.
Because I could just see Link getting some sort of, like, especially if they do a sort of light world, dark world type situation like they did in Link in the past.
Yeah.
I could see Link getting some type of gimmick that's all his own, like some type of Sheikah Slate-esque magical powers that are Link has these powers, they're him, they're not a device. And then
Right.
just have it be right in the beginning. Zelda basically just took her Sheikah Slate back because it was originally hers.
Yeah.
And that way, when you have puzzles that are solvable using the mechanics from the first game, you use Zelda because she has those powers essentially now.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd be into that. I'd be into that.
Yeah,
That was
That'd be
what
interesting, yeah.
in terms of a playable Zelda, that's how I
Yeah.
would do it.
Yeah. Alright.
So one thing that I know Tom and I have talked about, but not on the show, is the possibility of Metroid Prime 4 showing up. So I'm curious what everyone thinks about that.
I'm
Well,
hopeful. That would be
I
fun.
think they should, but no one cares what I think. So, yeah. I mean, I think it's more than appropriate because, like, it's been a long time, and I think it's overdue. Same thing with Bayonetta.
It's already been 2 years since the development restarted. I
Yeah.
think that's long enough that they can show. I don't think it's
Something.
coming out this year.
They can
I
show
think that's long
something,
enough
though.
that they can show, like, this is what Samus looks like in this game. And
Yeah, they can at least show. They can at least show a trailer. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. It's also been a long time. This is where I'm coming from. It's been a long time of them continuously just like posting, oh yeah, it looks like Retro's looking for a lead director.
Oh,
After,
right.
a year
Okay. Yeah.
starting development on this game or whatever.
Right.
It's like that's why I'm skeptical it's going to be there.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the thing is I haven't heard. I've literally heard nothing, so it's really hard to tell if anything will show up for Metroid this year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, there have been rumors lately, actually, that there's a new 2D Metroid that might get shown. That the same team that made Samus Returns on the 3DS is working on something for the Switch. I don't know if it's a new one or if it's a port of Samus Returns that should have
been on the Switch.
Like it should have been when it
should have been on a Switch to begin with. I don't know why.
But there's a rumor, and Samus Returns didn't make a lot of money. I think it barely broke even. But I blame that.
Nintendo DS.
I blame that to it being on the 3DS in a world where we had the Switch.
Yeah, that was so stupid.
I mean, Metroid traditionally does not do all that well, but I think that there is a more. I think there's a demand for Metroid now, unlike what Nintendo has experienced in the past. Just in terms of, I think the fan base. I think the extremely vocal, small fan base has yelled loud enough that now there is a larger fan base that just wants to see what everybody's yelling about.
Yeah, we're also kind of in the age where nostalgia sells. We're kind of in that age right now, so I think that's it's more than possible, right? Like, and like, yeah, like you said, that the small fan base has been so noisy about it, so obviously there's people who are interested in buying the game.
But
Mhm.
if there is a new 2D one coming, I hope it's something new. Just because I do already have Samus Returns, but I don't know what I'd want it to be. I would like to see Metroid Dread finally be a thing that actually exists.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I feel like that one's pretty much dead.
It's been murdered.
On a side note, I know Rob, I think anyway, Rob disagrees with me here. There's still a part of me that believes that Metroid Prime Trilogy HD is a real thing, and I think Nintendo's sitting on it until they can more accurately predict when Prime 4 is going to release. I think they'll release Prime Trilogy a year beforehand.
Maybe.
I think
It's just a
makes
gut
sense.
feeling and a hope that I have.
It makes sense, and I was pretty convinced by the rumors that were floating around from oh yeah, this listing appeared on Amazon for like an hour and then got taken down. But I don't know, I think most likely if it is coming, you're probably right. It is done and they're just sitting on it until they can use it to promote Prime 4. I don't really have any strong feelings one way or the other.
Well, there was the former developer at Retro that said that porting 1 and 2 would be easy, but porting 3 to the Switch would be a challenge in and all of its own.
Oh, I'd heard that I thought I'd heard that 1 and 2 would be the big problem.
Well, I thought it was 3 because of the Wii's motion controls, and the way they operate is completely different from how the gyro works. But I think the existence of Mario Galaxy as a part of that 3D collection and Skyward Sword HD, I think those two games' existence nullify that point. I think if they want it, they can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Rob die? Oh, there you go.
No,
Maybe. There he is. All right.
Rip.
I was just trying to find something about what the devs said about Metroid Prime.
Oh.
I'd weigh in a bit more on this, but I don't have a Switch yet, even though I really want one. So
What?
I'm eligible.
Really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. I'm so sorry.
I know. There's so many games. I'm just like, oh, Nintendo's releasing this. I'm like, oh, that'd be fun to play.
Dang. So
got a
you
Switch.
haven't played Breath of the Wild?
No,
What's wrong with you?
but I have it
missed
on
out on
the
so
Wii U,
much.
but
Oh
that
my
was
God.
a while back.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry. Your life is a tragedy. I'm just kidding. There's
Hey,
nothing
Rob.
wrong with it.
There are a lot of games I really want to play on the Switch. Yes, but I just haven't had it's
My
been
Switch is
I could do that, or I
dying.
could save up money so I could move out or move to,
Rob, is
So try to
Bandai Namco not doing their own press conference this year?
They were actually after Nintendo. I'm glad you
Oh.
asked. That's a good
Oh.
Oh, there you go.
Next up.
The reason why I was going to ask was I just thought of it now. The last 2 major announcements for the next for Tales of has been at Xbox's conferences, and it just popped into my head. I think we'll see a lot more of Tales of Arise.
Probably.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
seen some gameplay and some character introductions, but we'll probably see a bit more. That's not, unthinkable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially, I mean, if they're going, if they're having their own separate presentation, it'd be weird if they didn't have anything for, possibly their biggest upcoming game.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't even know.
I'm wondering if we're finally going to see Elden Ring.
Oh, I forgot that was them.
I don't even remember.
It's From Software working with what's his name?
George R.R. Martin.
Yeah.
Oh.
Really?
Okay, I think I heard something about this, but I don't remember.
But Bandai Namco's the publisher, I think, so.
Mhm.
It's been
Interesting.
silent for a very long time, so I wonder if we're finally going to see something.
Yeah, actually, I think that is pretty likely. Saying it says it's been in development since 2017.
I mean,
Can't
there's a
think of-
chance.
Can't think of anything else that's specifically Bandai Namco.
Yeah, I don't even know, like, besides like Tales and now that I know Elden Ring, I don't even know what else they've been working on lately.
I mean,
They're
there's
working on Scarlet Nexus that's supposed to come out end of this month, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's that. But I don't know if they're gonna. They might show more. I don't know. I don't know what more they have to show. But they might just show another trailer and still just remind us of the release date coming out at June 25th. I think it's supposed to come out.
Well, Bandai owns like basically the video game rights to pretty much every shonen franchise. So there's always a good chance that there's like a new like Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 or a Naruto Shippuden game or something.
Mm.
Yeah.
Those just don't attract the headlines the way that something like Elden Ring would.
Not in the West. No.
I don't even know if they necessarily have that kind of pull like in Japan. I feel like there's just so many years of licensed games like that getting a bad rap. I don't know. Maybe
I don't know.
they're
Well,
less
like,
burned
I
out
don't know.
over there.
Well, I know Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 and 2 both did really well, and there
Mm.
hasn't been a 3, so that's always possible. But Dragon Ball Fighters did really well as well.
Mm.
But I just don't know. I don't know enough about like what big shonens are popular right now that
Yeah.
Bandai would really be. I know they did a One Piece game a couple years ago.
I was gonna say, but I think
Do
One Piece
My
is
Hero
still pretty
Academia
big.
one or something.
Tom's favorite show.
Uh,
I need to take it at a theme park someday.
I'll just lay on the ground and scream.
I mean, they had some pretty sick rides. I'm just gonna say that.
Rob, at my funeral, I want you to play the pirate rap
Oh,
And
come
tell-
on!
and tell
Yeah.
everybody that's what killed me.
No, but you have to
Even-
do the fuck. What's his name?
Oh, Gilbert Gottfried.
Gilbert Godfrey.
Gilbert
His
Gottfried.
version. It's
Oh,
so
yeah.
funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Dreaming! Don't give it up, Luffy!
Luffy. Oh, it's so funny. So funny.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that I get up and rap the pirate rap.
Oh, you could do that too.
Yeah.
Right after my corpse swings around on the fan, and
Oh my
we
god.
replay the Space Jam.
No! No!
Hey, if you die first, I can do whatever I want.
Go for it. Go for it. But I have to die first because I ain't partaking in that nonsense. But we all know that ain't gonna happen now, is it?
I can't think of. I know Sony. I know they're not doing E3, but have they announced if they're doing a state of play presentation or something around
They
that?
did
time?
one recently.
They did one
Yeah.
that was entirely centered on Horizon's sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Forbidden
that
West.
seems to be sort of the trend for them lately. Is like they'll just sort of focus in on one big game.
Yeah. Do they have a release date for Forbidden West? I don't remember.
I think it just got delayed the next year.
Did it? What? Really? Hold
I
on.
think.
Let me check.
I know everybody's mad at Sony right now because they announced a bunch of these big next gen games are also coming to PS4.
Well, Horizon that was already talked about last year.
Yeah.
Because coming to PS4. It still says 2021.
Okay.
So
I might be thinking of God of War Ragnarok got a delayed to
movie.
2022.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, but yeah, Forbidden West is coming to PS4 and PS5.
The God of War one I know was confirmed PS4, and so
Yeah.
is the next Gran Turismo, and everybody's really mad about it because in
Yeah.
their announcement trailers they said they were PS5 exclusive.
mm,
So now
Yeah.
people are angry that Sony's like backpedaling
right?
because they've
It doesn't affect them.
Well,
no.
it's also okay. In that defense, though, like the launch of the PS5, no one could really no one could get a PS5, so it's possible that they're if
it's
the
still
games
apparently
can
hell
run
to
on
get a
PS4, they're
PS5.
probably being like, okay, we'll release them on PS4 so that we can actually make sales on the games, because at this point they might risk terrible game sales because they're releasing it on a console that no one can buy right now. You know?
Right,
But
but
see,
like,
that-
why are I don't understand the mentality of people who are mad that like a previous generation console is getting a game. Like,
it's not that that's not what has people mad. It's that Sony's basically lied is why people are up in a tizzy.
Yeah, because before they said that some games were exclusives to PS5, but that was even before the PS5 launched.
right.
Well, okay, here's the thing though, is the reason why people are mad, as to my understanding, is, for example, Xbox got a lot of flack for when Phil Spencer said that for the next 2 or 3 years, all their first party titles are also going to come to Xbox One. And they got a lot of flack for it. And Sony at that same time announced, we believe in generations. And on all their trailers for things like God of War Ragnarok and Gran Turismo 7, it said exclusive to PS5. Now all of a sudden these games are also coming to PS4, and it makes it look like they were just marketing off of Xbox's bad press, when in reality they're doing the exact same thing Xbox is doing.
No.
So
Yeah.
I don't care. To me it means I don't have to buy a PS5 right away. But
Yeah.
I do agree with the mentality of Sony's just lying in order to sell consoles, but when most of their customers are the scalpers and bots, their software sales are down, so now they're backpedaling on whether or not they believe in generations because they want more software sales. And I do agree with that. I think we're unfortunately in a reality where when a big, huge, multi-billion-dollar corporation is honest, they get shit thrown at them, and when they're lying, everybody worships them until they get caught in the lie.
Yeah.
I just, I guess what I don't understand is like the shock of people like, this big video game company lied to make money.
Yeah, oh my god! Shocker! Holy shit.
Like, at least now you can play the game without having to pay $1,000.
Yeah, right? Like, who cares if they changed it from being a PS5 exclusive to being both PS5 and PS4? Like, that just means you don't have to buy a PS5. Like, I wish they did that with all of them.
Like, even if you did already buy a PS5, eventually all the games are going to be exclusive.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah. But yeah, at the beginning of a new console's life cycle, it's not unheard of for them to be, to be on both platforms, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, some games are, don't get that treatment. I mean, like, specifically with Ratchet and Clank, but that, to my understanding, that game was built with the PS5's hardware in mind, so I don't think it can be... It can probably be downgraded to some extent for the PS4, but I don't know. But
it's not.
To my understanding is it was built for the PS5, so that's why it is exclusive to the PS5.
The PS4 could handle it visually, but it can't handle the mechanics.
The loading. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to handle the loading.
Yeah, it was designed from the ground up to be used with the PS5 solid state drive. That's why it's not a cross-gen title.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and like that's the kind of game I would want to see be a console exclusive. It's like, if they can make it run on PS4, why would they only release it on PS5?
Yeah, exactly.
The exclusives should be things like Ratchet and Clank that are actually doing something new.
Yeah, because that game is also like designed to show off like the hardware and the capabilities of like the DualSense controller and like the ray tracing. Like it was designed to really showcase what the PS5 can do. So to put that on a PS4 is just nah.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
That's nah. Which
That's
sucks because I
nah.
want to play that thing more than ever, and I can't because I don't have PS5. So I'm sad. I'm sad because I want to play it.
I feel the
miss
pain.
days. I miss the days
Sorry?
when you could see a game like that and like you just be like, oh well, I'll go down to EB Games and play the demo, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I wish. Yeah. Yeah. It makes me cry. I'm a huge Ratchet fan, so it makes me cry.
I was actually kind of surprised when they finally had the trailer with Rivet, and it was announced that Jennifer Hale is the voice of Rivet.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I'm like, okay, what
She's in
sci-fi
everything!
heroine does she not
Does she
play?
not play? Is a shorter list, yeah. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I guess we're kind of coming to the end. Was there anything sort of outside of those publishers that anyone's either expecting or hoping to hear about at E3?
Mm,
I kind of hope that companies like Sega and Capcom and them have more to talk about like back not necessarily not necessarily like re-release not necessarily remakes but re-releasing of older software that just can't be like I really want to play Panzer Dragoon Saga and Skies of Arcadia, but my god, I'm not paying like $700 or $3,000 for a video game.
Yeah.
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 Like we were joking earlier, but a Sega Dreamcast Mini would be a great announcement.
Yes.
Yeah, it would.
I still want them or wish that they would do a Saturn Mini first, but I don't think there is as much demand for a Saturn Mini as there would be for a Dreamcast.
Yeah. I also wish they hadn't just abandoned Fog. Like that was a really cool idea.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll see anything from Google Stadia.
Rip Stadia.
I'm pretty sure
Rip
Stadia's
Stadia!
at this point.
It's kind of sad when Google comes out with something like Stadia and Microsoft is already doing it and they're doing it better.
Yeah.
I don't think it's all that sad. I don't get too sad about Google falling on their faces.
Yeah, it's Google. They're not really at risk or anything.
Live.
I hope to see something about Dragon Age 4.
It's possible. I feel like I don't know. I almost feel like it's been in development for forever, but it hasn't gotten anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember they released like a video. I saw it on YouTube. I don't remember how long. I want to say it was like a year ago, maybe less. I don't remember. But there was like a video that they showed off some concepts and stuff. They showed off stuff. I don't even remember what it was, but I mean they're working on it, so maybe they'll have something to show. I don't know, but I hope to see something because.
Yeah.
Me loves me some Dragon Age, so yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there is sort of a rumor going around that like basically this is going to be the game that kind of makes or breaks BioWare after.
Yeah. Well, there was a huge change that was made to it because apparently it was supposed to be more like an MMO or something.
Oh.
And EA wanted it. I guess was going to make it to be more of an MMO, and they pulled the plug on that, and they're just like, no, we're going to make it more like a fucking RPG the way it's supposed to be. Like, Jesus! I was like, holy shit!
Like, was that before or after they saw what BioWare could do with an MMO?
Fuck. Well, yeah, I think this was after... It was a bit time after, like, the whole Anthem shit and whatever, but I don't remember. But yeah, apparently that was the direction that they were going to go in, but I think because, fans of BioWare have been like, guys, this isn't what you've been giving us. So, like, why change the formula that we know? Especially for like franchises like Mass Effect and Dragon Age. Like, why don't reinvent the wheel when the wheel turns just fine? Like, it makes you money as it is right now, so don't reinvent it because you're pissing people off. Like, holy hell! So yeah,
It's funny that BioWare made like the most famous Star Wars game of all time. EA had the licensing rights for Star Wars, and they did nothing with BioWare about like remaking it or doing a sequel. And then Disney backpedaled on shutting down LucasArts and are now making LucasArts again. And they took the licensing rights away from EA, and now Aspire Entertainment is working on a remake of BioWare's old Star Wars RPG. And it's like, why didn't you just let BioWare make that when you had the licensing rights to Star Wars?
Yeah.
Because how are you going to make a classic Star Wars RPG into a microtransaction film?
Yeah, I know, right? God.
Bullshit thing.
Jesus. But yeah, I really do feel that Dragon Age 4 will make or break what happens to BioWare for the future. That's kind of a given, I think. But hopefully they don't fudge it up.
Hopefully.
Or with like Mass Effect 5 or whatever. It's like, if Dragon Age turns out to be a stinking pile of poo-poo, they might not even do Mass Effect 5. You never know.
I want to see one of those like hour-long video essay YouTube reviews of Dragon Age that just calls it poo-poo.
You pile of poo-poo. This is poo-poo, don't play it.
Poo-poo.
Oh my god.
If we ever review another video game that we don't like, I'll put that on
the rating is poo-poo.
I'll put it in a thumbnail.
The rating is poo-poo. It's poo-poo.
Yeah, is EA doing a conference this year?
I couldn't find anything about them.
Are they just going to piggyback
idea.
off of someone
They
else?
could.
I don't know. They could. They could just piggyback off of Microsoft or
If they only
whatever.
have like one or two things they want to announce, then yeah, it would make more sense for them.
Yeah,
to
especially if it's like a Xbox exclusive or something or whatever. But like if Sony isn't doing one and Xbox is, then they'll probably just piggyback off Xbox.
Yeah. Okay, so apparently... So yeah, they're apparently going to have games at E3, and then they're going to do their own EA Play Live in July.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Okay. That's dope.
I'm not sure what I'm exactly looking forward to them, but
Yeah.
okay.
Just make it all about Dragon Age, and then we're good.
Oh, but Battlefield 6 is going to be there.
Woohoo.
Oh gosh!
Hooray!
Hooray!
I
Can't
haven't played
wait!
Battlefield in ages.
I so haven't even ever touched a Battlefield game. God, I'm so excited. Sarcasm is strong with this one.
Truly.
I'm sorry, I really have to pee, and for some reason that's making me really hyper. I don't know why. Probably because I'm like dancing around because I have to pee, and that's making me hyper. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah.
We just attracted a whole new audience to this video.
Oh God. No.
Go away, guys. The microphone isn't going in.
Is it the same audience as the one that asked to show feet? Is it those guys? I don't know.
Hey, if we had a community of people that wanted me to show them my feet, I would do it.
Yeah, like it's just feet.
Okay, why not?
Like I don't know if anyone wants to see my feet. I mean, I think feet are pretty gross in my opinion. So
I would not do rank well on that one. I have hobbit feet. Like it's.
Well,
like,
me
full on
too.
just I would be totally at home in the Shire if I wasn't 6'1".
Dude, I'd fit right in.
I got the eating
tiny
down.
and I have
I got the
big feet. I'm
feet
good to go.
down. I could totally live under a hill. Just I'd smack my head on everything.
No, I'm good.
just
I'm
pictured,
short
like,
and big feet.
I just pictured like a landscape shot of the Shire, and it's like all the hobbits running around and I don't know, farming and whatever else, and it just the camera stops on one of the like hobbit holes, and then me and Nathan both crawl out and stand up, and our backs crack, and we go, "Oh, why do we live here?"
That is a horrid idea.
One of the hobbits tells Nathan, "Oh, it's almost time for 11sies. You have to wait until 11."
My metabolism's going to eat me alive if I don't eat anything by 10.
It's
What a
10:45. I can still get a steak in.
I was just gonna say.
It's okay. It's
Well,
only second breakfast.
That's what I was gonna say. Was it's almost time for 11Cs. Well, that means it is time for 10:45s.
Yeah.
10:45s.
Let's have my pre-steak.
Time for a full turkey dinner.
Oh,
With biscuits and gravy.
so does anybody have any really outlandish announcements that they would love besides Okami, Holly?
I wasn't going to. I was going to control myself. It's okay. I've come to learn that my dreams will be crushed, and I have to live with that.
Fair.
Well, how about this for something outlandish since we were talking about it? What about a remake of The Hobbit?
Oh my god.
Like the old GameCube game?
The old GameCube
Yeah!
game? I'd be down for it.
Yeah!
I feel like they'd be too tempted to rewrite it to match the movies.
Yeah,
Maybe.
probably.
I kind of like
Oh,
that there
maybe-
is
the
a Hobbit
movies that
video
are,
game that is an
like-
adaptation of the books, not the games. Or the movies, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, my sort of like outlandish thing would, I guess we could have talked about in Nintendo's segment. I would really love to see them finally add N64 and GameCube to the online.
Oh, yeah.
I
Mostly,
don't know.
I just want a way to play 1080 on my Switch.
You're grasping at straws at this point.
Please, Nintendo.
Aww. Just give this man 1080, come on!
The original developer's busy with VR. You're
Or
my
Cool
only hope.
Borders, whichever one. I grew up with that one, not 1080. It was, yeah, I think that's what it was called, Cool Borders.
It definitely was a snowboarding game.
Yeah, I think it was on the I think it was on PlayStation because I think it was on my demo disc back when those were a thing. I gotta look it up.
Rob, just imagine a world where we could we could race each other online in 1080 at any time.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's what it was called, Cool Borders. Yeah, 2001. Yeah.
There's two I have a weird mix of. And the first one is the whole mix is I don't think the developers have enough money to be a part of E3, but it's so really cool. But I like to see whatever the Boneworks team is working on next, because that is such a fun game. Oh, I love Boneworks, and I know that they're planning on evolving more in the world of Boneworks and all that. But I don't think they have. I don't think they're big enough to be a part of EA, or EA. Fuck, I don't think they're big enough to be a part of E3.
Well, if they're reputable and small, then EA will buy them.
And then shut them down.
Yeah, no kidding. Fuck off, EA. And I don't want them to become part of a bigger one because they're a really funky team just going off of it.
There are sort of smaller conferences that are also going on around.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. If there is one group that I could see them getting really buddy-buddy with, is Valve.
Mm.
Like, just because, like, not even just like off of like Valve tends to be a little bit more chill if they're sponsoring game parties. From what I remember, I might be wrong, but from what I remember, they tend to be a little bit more chill. They just take fucking forever. But and then also Boneworks has a lot of inspirations from Half-Life. What I've noticed from playing through it,
Oh yeah.
so I could see them being like a little buddy on that. And then another game with it's a very mix of I'd hate to see it, but I'd love to see it. Would be a new Star Wars Emperor at War. Because I'd love to see it because like real-time strategy Star Wars games with like a tactical overlay or blah, like fucking, you know what I mean. But just like that weird mix that Star Wars Emperor had, and it was so fun. But at the same time, Star Wars Emperor War itself evolved beyond just Star Wars Emperor at War that I feel like you'd lose a lot. Or like if you were to invent or create a new Star Wars Emperor at War game, it would have one hell of a legacy overshadowing it, and I'm not sure if that would work. Because oh my god, like just the community of it has taken it and run away with the entire game. I miss these when we had so many different and weird Star Wars games. Because like back
the
before
mid 2000s was like a golden era.
it really like you had so many different types. You had the real time strategy and like Star Wars Emperor. You had first person shooters. Like you had Battlefront, which was like a weird like it was basically the predecessor to a lot of like newer modern games. Like you had all these wild and wacky different creations, like
Jedi Knight games.
And then Jedi Knight games. You
and
had
the BioWare RPG I was talking about.
BioWare RPG. You
Yeah.
had RPG games. You had like Force Unleashed, which was like a really weird artistic, like if everything was upped 50 times kind of games and like all that. And then EA took over. It's like nothing.
Yeah, EA likes to shit the bed for everybody.
Which admittedly
They were like the pinnacle of like my childhood, and now
which I love.
And now they just
I fucking love.
Well, like okay, like I
Crazy
grew up
Starfighter
playing
games.
like The Sims and stuff like that, right? So that's why I'm gonna be like EA was a big
I'd
part
love to
of
hear
like
more
my
Sims.
gaming childhood,
I
right?
should
So,
hear more
but
Sims.
now they're just kind of like, I'm just gonna poop on all of these other developers that do good stuff, and then because I pooped on their stuff, they're shit, so I'm gonna shut them down. They're just
Basically.
pooping on everybody.
That's another thing. Sorry, when we were talking about EA, I totally forgot about it, but I know that they're definitely announcing more stuff for Sims 4, but that's kind of given.
Yeah.
I want
I
I'm
want to like
hoping
The
for
Sims 4.
5.
Yeah, I want to like The Sims 4, but I feel like they went backwards for a lot of stuff from The Sims 3.
They did, and there's a while
I don't
that
like
they were
that.
stumbling a lot, but recently, like the last few expansions, there's like the oh fuck, what was it? There was the Snowy Escape one was pretty decent. The Haunt one, I can't remember its official name, Spooky Stuff or something. That was actually really fun.
Yeah.
Like
I don't
that
know.
one was
I
great.
feel like
And then, but
I just got
they
so
had a long
spoiled with some of
time.
the stuff that they had with Sims 3 that they took away
Sims
from
3
me
was
with
beautiful.
Sims 4. So that's why I just have a
Oh,
hard time
definitely.
being like, oh yeah, Sims 4 is great.
I
like-
really want another Sims 3 like game, like the open
Yeah.
world and all that.
Because
Was
it was pseudo open world and it was awesome. And I could have horses for fuck's sake. It's like Jesus.
I still play The Sims 3 all the fucking time because that's such a good game.
I know, and
But
that's why I
there's
just have
also,
such I'm so butthurt about The Sims 4 because of it.
I know, and like admittedly, especially like recently, I have been playing The Sims 4 a lot more. And there are a lot of things I do like in The Sims. Like they have drastically improved everything about build and buy and create a sim is so much better than Sims 3. I will definitely give them that. Making homes and everything much better.
Yeah.
And their stuff does not look nearly as dated in The Sims 3. I don't know who was their lead designer on like furniture and like base structure and all that in Sims 3, but they were like at least like they were living in the 1980s when the world had moved into the 2000s.
Yeah. Yeah,
But,
like
yeah.
when The Sims 4 first
There's a
came
lot of
out,
but
it
the
did give
gameplay
me like
definitely.
nostalgia for like The Sims 2. Like it did give me that kind of nostalgia for like
Yeah.
The Sims 2, which was fine. Like I can understand if they kind of wanted to go back to basics or whatever the fuck, but like just considering how advanced The Sims 3 came off compared to The Sims 4, that just kind of, I don't know, it left a bad taste in my mouth. That's all I'm trying to get at.
And it's kind of evolved into a really weird mix between Sims 3 and Sims 4 because I play them both quite a bit still.
Yeah.
Sims 3 I definitely play for the open world, the interaction, like how you like all the different like weird bullshit you can do.
Yeah.
And The Sims
Like
4,
weird.
it's definitely runs so much better. The systems are way more solid, I guess is a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
And like they're built in by and like it's more later on recently. I guess I should say recently it's a lot of the systems. Because they've started bringing in systems from older games, like they have the likes and dislikes in again. And then also they've expanded a lot on some of the different systems that came previously, like supernaturals.
Yeah.
In Sims 3, they just had the blanket pack. Oh, here's supernaturals, and he just had like, oh yay, they just poof, whatever. In The Sims 4, they expanded so over general. Blah, my God, words. Instead of just doing like, oh, here's just a supernatural pack, they've done like instead of one that's entirely dedicated to vampires. Vampires in Sims 4, best fucking vampire version ever. Like it is great. It is amazing. Wizard or like when you're witches or spellcasters, I guess in it.
Yeah.
Still pretty good. Overpowered as fuck, but still pretty good. I wish they
it's The
toned down
Sims.
some of the
It's
stuff in
based on ridiculousness, so
No, so it is ridiculous. But I think that my only downside with it is I think they made some of the stuff a little too easy. Like the first and learn is basically one that like ups all your like all your needs completely. I wish they kind of did what Sims 3 had when it came to potions, especially because instead of like doing, oh, it's all the needs, it's like, oh, here's one for sleep, here's one for
I
this,
used to
here's one for
use
that.
cheat codes for that.
I know, but like there's some days I just want a cheat code and just go, and then some days I'm just like, I just want to build a little family and see where this runs to. So there's like, I wish they kind of, it's a strange mix. I wish that it wasn't just like as small as a pack as it was for the spellcasters. The spellcasters themselves are great, but the stuff you do with them can get a little wacky, especially if you're trying to make like a weird goal. Like if you're doing like a rags to riches or like seeing if you can like master every like skill or whatever. Like if you're a spellcaster, it's easy street. And like it's weird to say that I wish there was a little bit more of a limitation on spellcasters, but I wish that there was, or that some of the stuff that makes them so OP was, hey, you actually have to work up to it instead of, hey, you unlock a potion that gives you
just
everything.
make it a bit more of a challenging thing. But.
Yeah. But like, and then, but they did improve because then they did like the spooky whatever pack when you do seances and commune with the dead and you have like hauntings. Hauntings is fun. Having like living in a haunted house is actually a challenge. Because like shit will go down and you're like, oh,
sounds like
fuck.
a lot of fun, actually.
That's just like life advice.
Yeah. That sounds like a lot of fun though.
Yeah, I know. But like it's so fun living in a haunted house and just trying to like keep your sins from like dying of like I can't fucking like sleep because things keep on waking me up in the night and it's like terrifying and you're just passing out at work and can't like do anything. Well, you can, but like it's much more fun gameplay and they've just released their next pack, which is a big one. It's their home decorator one. So basically, you can be like a home decorator and all that.
Oh, okay.
Which I think is mostly just for because there's like different people who play the game for different reasons. That one's very like people who just like to build. Well, here's a game pack that's all about. Hey, it's literally just like your job
I mean,
is
I
just go.
I usually spend a fuck time building shit, but
so
I build
much
shit to live in it.
Yeah, and like so. Basically, the wrap up is I do love them both. And Sims 4, I agree completely. In the starting years and like to the middle of its life cycle, it was not
bad.
great. Like
Bad.
so bad. Like the only 2 packs or anything that they did that came out like for the majority of its life that I say are pretty good is the Vampires one, which was phenomenal, and their Seasons, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Seasons
But
is always
the recent ones, especially like their last 3 or have been really fun. I have been enjoying those. I always want to live in a haunted house now. It's so fucking it's so crazy.
Huh.
So, Holly, do you have any wild predictions?
Yeah, sorry, that's my rant on The Sims.
No. Nope.
Huh.
I don't know if it's really a wild. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I've really got one that I would actually expect to ever possibly happen. I would like to see something from like Dino Crisis, but something more realistic is I think I would like to see the Knights of the Old Republic remake shown. I think that's still way too early in its development, but I don't know. Metroid Prime 4, but I want to see it.
Yeah.
I hope it
Yeah.
is there.
Yeah.
I hope Metroid Prime Trilogy is a thing too. Alright, well, I guess we've pretty much covered E3 then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we just gotta wait for E3.
Yeah. See what happens.
Yeah.
Talk about all the shit that comes out of it.
Yeah, tune into our post discussion where we talk about everything we had right and everything we had wrong.
Yeah. See if our
How
predictions-
I guess
disappointed
most of
or
the
excited
things
we
had
are.
wrong.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, well, yeah. Like you said, listen next time. Comment below if you're watching this what you think is going to happen or what you want to happen. Comment on me saying what you want is going to happen.
What
Yeah,
happened will
great.
want.
If you think we're just a bunch of rambling idiots, then hit the like button.
Yeah.
Come on.
Or the
it's
dislike
not
button. That's cool too.
It's YouTube. What else is there?
Yeah.